Hi guys, it's Ace, and I'm gonna talk to you about my first time in Japan as a weeb. A little history about me is that I am super into anime, and I have been since I was pretty much a toddler. I started off with every millennial's first anime, which is like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and things like that, but I didn't know it was called anime until I was a little older, like 10, 11, 12. That's when I started getting into like Yu Yu Hakusho and God, what also came on Toonami? I don't remember, but a bunch of stuff. So I call myself a weeb, because I'm still into it, as you can probably see from my little things on the wall there. For every weeb, it's pretty much their dream to go to Japan. And I was under the impression after a while of not being able to go, of being like, oh, this is my year, I'm gonna go this year, and it just falling through, because when you grow up with not a lot of money and not a lot of experience traveling outside of the United States and not really having that foundation where you have the extra money to be able to go on these big ticket trips, I just pretty much gave up. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to go, it's too expensive, especially since I really wanted to go for my 30th birthday, because that would have been amazing to see the cherry blossoms on my 30th birthday, and COVID happened that year. It happened around my birthday. I couldn't do anything. But anyway, so when we moved over here to the Philippines, Japan is only about 4 or 5 hour flight away. So the tickets are relatively cheap. So we were able to afford a ticket to go to Japan. And so we spent a week in Japan, and it was like a dream come true. Like when my partner said, oh hey, by the way, when did we go? July 3rd? Like, oh, July 3rd, we're going to Japan. I was like, hang on, what? I was floored because one, we had just gotten to the Philippines on the 16th, because we left on the 13th and the flight was forever. And we got here on the 16th, and I was like, wow, we just got to a new country, then we're just gonna hop to the other one. But that's kind of the reality of living here. There are other Asian countries that are pretty close around the Philippines, so I'll be able to hop around and explore more than I was able to when I lived in the United States, because the United States is just so huge. Anyways, I digress. So it was my first time going to Japan after having studied the culture, studying the language, just kind of on my own, and then with the help of some people like my tea ceremony teacher, Haruko sensei, and then all my other tea ceremony people, and then other people who have lived in Japan that I knew personally or have been to Japan. And I was able to put all of that knowledge into a practical thing. So I was really nervous. Anyway, so our itinerary was kind of loosey-goosey because one, we didn't really have enough time to research everything that we wanted to do. And also 2 of those days were gonna be in Tokyo Disney. So really we had pretty much 3 days in Tokyo, because it's like total 7 days. First day, flying there. Not gonna really do anything except for get there, go to sleep. Second day, exploring one part of Tokyo. Then the 3rd and 4th day was Tokyo Disney. The 5th day was going to another part of Tokyo. 5th day, going to another part of Tokyo. And then the last day, we're leaving. So let me walk you through our little journey. So first we landed, and immediately as soon as we got out, it was like, okay, we gotta get our SIM cards because we need our phones to be able to work. We need to be able to use Google Maps and get around without having to ask too many people and bother too many people. about directions, because while I knew how to ask for directions and how to follow them in Japanese, I didn't really want to trouble anybody. So we got off, and then, okay, we gotta go to the train station, get our ticket to get to Tokyo via train. Do not take a taxi. You will pay so much money. So much money. I think it was in the hundreds of dollars, because the train itself is about like an hour and a bit, because it's the Narita airport is it's close to like Chiba, which is a ways away. So we took the train. It was the Skyline Express. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but we took the train there, and I was like, okay, how do we buy a ticket? So I had to ask somebody, and I got so nervous. Like, I know how to say, like, how do you buy a ticket in Japanese? But of course, I just, after like having to use Japanese in Japan, all my knowledge went right out the window. I got so nervous. But thankfully, it was easy enough to go like, I want to go here in Japanese. I was like, oh, here, I want to go here. And he was like, oh, go to, that booth over there, buy a ticket, and they'll tell you what you need to do. So we got our tickets, and then we went to Ikebukuro. That's where our Airbnb was. Now, I have videos of all the places that we stayed in Japan. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. I'm also going to have little in-depth videos of each part of Tokyo that we explored. That way I can talk a little more about that. But first we went to Ikebukuro, which we wanted to go to because of Otome Road. It is a slept-on part of Tokyo if you like anime. When you hear, oh, where's the place I should go if you like anime? Everyone says Akihabara. But Akihabara is more geared towards male fandoms, like male anime. It's more male oriented, and I put this in quotes because again, any gender can like anything, but target audience male anime is more Akihabara. Ikebukuro is more general plus more women target audience anime. So things with like pretty boys or like, BL, and again, any gender can like BL, but mainly BL is written by women for women. So that's where you can find that. You can find the butler cafes there. That's also where you can find the Pokemon Center is in Ikebukuro in Sunshine City Mall. So we explored that mall, we explored around, we went to Animate, which was like overwhelming as someone who loves anime. I was like, there's so much anime. There was floors, like not just 3 floors. No, it was like seven floors of like anime stuff. Just anything from like Demon Slayer to Bungo Stray Dogs to all sorts of BL that I was like, oh, I want this so bad. Just all sorts of things I've never heard of or never seen. Nothing that's gotten popular over here in the States. I'm not here in the States anymore, but over in the States. And it was like, it's like a mecca for anime nerds. There's also places like K-Books. Now the K-Books that I wanted to go to that I was recommended by a friend, hi Nee, it was closed. It was closed that day, unfortunately, and that was the only day we were going to be in Ikebukuro, so we weren't going to be able to go back and see it. There was another K-Books there that was open, but it was geared towards anime stage plays, which I thought was really interesting because there was so many anime stage plays, and all it had were like the cards, like the photo cards of each of the actors for the stage plays. Ikebukuro is also really good if you like cosplay stuff. I bought a few cosplay items there. I bought a wig and I bought some eyebrow covers, which I can get in more depth when I do my Ikebukuro thing. I'll even show you what those eyebrow covers were. And that was it for Ikebukuro. There's so much stuff there that we wanted to do, but we had one day. And honestly, you can explore each part of just Tokyo itself. Each day or each part you can spend a few days just exploring to see everything that you want to see. The next 2 days was Tokyo Disney, and I'm not going to go too much into that because I already have a video out if you want to check it out about my experience at Tokyo Disney. And it's a part of Japan, but I don't really count it as like a I'm exploring Japan part of my weebdom. That was more like satisfying my inner child of having never gone to Disney before. That was my first Disney experience. It wasn't necessarily a Japan experience. The only part that was like really like, oh my gosh, like this is just super Japanese was everyone was speaking the language, all the rides were in Japanese for the most part. And so really, next we went to Asakusa. So if you really like historical things, which I really like, I did tea ceremony for a few years. I absolutely love the historical culture of Japan, like the traditional culture, especially tea ceremony. It's just so beautiful. I really like the handcrafted art, just the richness of the culture, just the beauty, how they find beauty in just like the simplest of objects. So if you like traditional Japanese aesthetic, definitely go to Asakusa. That's where we stayed at the ryokan, which is the Onyado no dormi, which is right on a street that goes straight to the shrine. Like the shrine was literally like 5-minute walk. And so it just like, you just go down that street and it just dumps you right up into the shrine. And that was also like a really cool experience. It was really crowded because it was Tanabata Festival, which I thought it was really cool that we were there the same weekend as a Japanese festival was happening. So I actually got to experience like a little Japanese festival. It was super, super cool. And again, it just satisfied my little weeb heart because you see these things in anime. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to go to Japan being like, it's gonna be like an anime. No, it's not going to be exactly like an anime. The people aren't going to be like anime characters, but there are little pieces of anime that are true to real life. That's where you get some of those things. So things like the Tanabata Festival or like knowing how to bathe at an onsen, you can learn that from the anime you watch. Like you see in anime them washing themselves off and then going into the onsen. Like that's true to life. You're supposed to wash yourself off completely and then you can go into the hot springs. But yeah, so after Asakusa, the next day we went to Shibuya. There we stayed at a love hotel because of course you always hear about love hotels. And so there was like a whole street just full of love hotels that we were like, ooh, which one should we stay at? Because the one that we wanted to stay at that we had researched before was closed for renovations, unfortunately. So you always hear about like Shibuya fashion, Harajuku fashion, and it doesn't disappoint. I had been into J fashion since I was a teenager. Like I really love the magazine Fruits. I would see some picture from the magazine Fruits online, and walking around you just see everyone just dressing to kill. It was really, really cool seeing all the fashion and how people were expressing themselves through fashion. And like in America, yeah, you can be super fashionable. It's almost, you would think that in America, being as individualistic as it is, we can dress like whatever and not get stared at, but you're more likely to get stared at in America for wearing what Japanese fashionistas would wear than anything else. But it was really, really amazing to see all the fashion that I admired come to life. I even went to the 109 building, that shopping mall, that really tall shopping mall, because I'd seen that again in anime and I'd always wanted to go inside because I knew it was a real place. And I was expecting to go and not find anything in my size because I'm 5'9" and like 200 pounds. But I actually found stuff that fit me, which I thought was really cool. So definitely go check that out. And we kind of like went along the edge of Harajuku. We didn't go too far into it, but we did go see the Baby the Star Shine Bright store. Super cool. And then it was time to go home, and I was like, I felt fulfilled as someone who's loved anime for such a long time because I finally got to go at the age of 34, having wanting to go to Japan since I was 12. I felt absolutely fulfilled. Of course I want to go again. Of course I want to go back. There's so much more I want to experience. There's so much more I want to do. There's so much more of Japan that I want to discover and explore. So I'm really glad that I'm here where Japan is within my reach a little easier. But don't give up hope. If you're thinking, oh, it's too expensive to go, I'll never get to go, never say never. You don't know what sort of situation is going to fall into your lap and allow you to get to experience the things that you want to experience. Just keep holding out hope. Keep kind of reaching for that goal a little bit, because it's never too late to go. It's never too late to go, even if you have to go in your 50s. Because that's the only time, like, you know, you're 50 years old and suddenly like, oh, I have the money, I can go to Japan. You can do that. You don't have to be young to go explore Japan. So that's just a little tidbit. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to have some more in-depth videos about Japan, my Japan experience, and what I experienced in each part of the city. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!